Man, Canelo versus Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. How about now? I was sitting there thinking, if Canelo's not retiring, he's going to continue with his career. What is a good fight for him? He's fought a lot of these cherry picks. You know, um, Bud Crawford was a cherry pick gone wrong, and a pretty humiliating loss for Canelo Alvarez. What's a fight that can reignite the fans of Canelo? And I was sitting there thinking, man, I think that Boo Boo Andrade, why not? They are still in the same division, and they're both coming off pretty bad losses, man. David Benavidez, you know, gave hell, man, brought hell in that ring versus Andrade. I thought Andrade had a pretty good chance, man. I thought he was gonna be slick enough, but he was coming up in weight. That's why, the greats, that's how you can, separate the good from the great and the elites, because the really great fighters, the pound for pound fighters, can go up in weight, um, and adapt. Their style will carry into the heavier weight class, and they'll get the job done, as we seen Bud do against Canelo. But Demetrius Andre's skills did not translate well into the heavier weight class when he fought David Benavidez, as he calls him, um, the former 168 WBC champ. He left out of there pretty beat up. So, being that Canelo and Boo Boo both are coming off pretty bad losses, and they're still in the same weight class, why not? I mean, I just checking the temperature. What do y'all feel about this fight now? Would this be a good uh career, you know, um restart for Canelo, like to get a good win over Demetrius Andre? Because a lot of people really hated Demetrius Andre. A lot of people hated me when I was talking about this is a good fight. I felt like it could have happened at 154 pounds. Canelo wasn't interested. Could have happened at 160. He could have became undisputed at 160. Canelo wasn't interested. Uh, Boo Boo only has one loss, man, and that came to David Benavidez. And if we're being honest, who had a worse loss? Which loss was worse? Canelo losing to the little guy moving up, or David Benavidez, or Demetrius Andre, who moved up in weight, daring to be great to fight the one of the top dogs at 168. And I consider David Benavidez the top dog at 68. And Canelo never wanted to fight him. And we all know David Benavidez never lost in the ring, only on the scales. So if I'm being honest, 100% honest, I felt Canelo's was a more of an embarrassing loss, being that you cherry pick. You thought it was going to be an easy time because you had the little guy coming up, and he styled on you, man. He actually embarrassed you pretty bad. Um, on rewatch, man, I did give Canelo 3 rounds. At first watch, I said, "Oh man, I gave him one." But on rewatch, man, the first 5 to 6 rounds was a lot closer. Um, it was some good things Canelo did in the early rounds, but you just can't make adjustments. And but Boo Boo Andre, like I say, he was jumping up in weight. He fought the guy that Canelo was terrified of, which is Dave Benavidez. He got his ass whooped, but he at least got props for jumping in there. It wasn't like he jumped in there with a little guy. Canelo did that, you know. But I feel like it's unfinished business, man. Um, Canelo talked all of this shit about you fought with nobody. You are nobody. Who did you beat? And he did the same shit with Bud Crawford, but fought him because he was smaller. And all I was saying for years is that, man, Canelo's on some sucker shit, man. He's ducking Boo Boo Andrade, like Jake Paul would say. You're ducking him, bro. You're ducking Boo Boo Andrade. And that's all the Canelo was doing at 154, 160, man. And y'all, a lot of people, Canelo and his fanboys ran with the narrative that, you know, uh, Nobody knows Andre. He don't sell this, that, and the third. Same thing with Bud. People hardly. A lot of people are saying that they didn't even know who Bud was until like 2 weeks before the fight with Canelo and shit. I was like, damn, you know, casual promotions, but you know, I knew who Bud was, but a lot of people don't know who Bud Crawford is. A lot of people don't know who Demetrius Andrade is. So since Canelo just fought a nobody in Bud Crawford, why don't you just fight another nobody? But at least you will get credit. I don't think that Demetrius Andrade is as slick as Bud Crawford. He's bigger than Bud Crawford, but I don't think he's as slick. I think at this point, you know, um, with the inactivity of Demetrius Andrade, Canelo has a good chance to knock out Demetrius Andrade and reignite his man fans, man. Because I've been looking out here, looking out here, man. It's not looking too good. It ain't looking too good for the fanboys of Canelo, man. The damage control is on a different stratosphere. But I just think that to move past that, Canelo's got to do something that is going to re-electrify his community. Be like, oh hell yeah, and knocking out Boo Boo Andre, I feel like it's the perfect fight. It was a perfect fight. I mean, there's nobody else out there. I mean, you fought Berlanga, you fought Munguia, John Ryder, and Plant, and Callum Smith, and Billy Joe son. I don't know what's else out there. I mean, unless you fight this Israelite what's that guy name? The guy that just knocked out Berlanga, whatever his name is. You can fight him, I guess. But, you know, does he deserve a fight? I guess he's known. And maybe Riyadh season will pay you the bag to fight him. So maybe that fight make more sense. But I'm just saying, Demetrius Andrade is back outside. And it's simply because you got your ass whooped, but by none other than Bud Crawford. You know? See, this is what happens when you get on some little champ shit, Canelo. You get styled on by the little guy who came up in weight. And now you got Boo Boo Andre back outside talking that shit, man. He's talking mad shit, bro. And I just need Canelo to man up for once, man. Get some cojones and fight this man finally. Why not? There's nothing else out here, man. Get you a tune up, fight Boo Boo Andre, you know. Um, Talk to him like Earl Spence said, 70-30, 80-20, whatever we give him, you know. Talk shit to him in the press conference. Let Boo Boo Andre do his little weird stuff that he do. It'll sell a little bit, and the fans will buy into it because they know who Boo Boo Andre it is, man. They know. This man has crashed press conferences. That moment went viral. It went because of Andre going into that press conference, post-fight press conference after he beat Billy Joe. I believe it was after that fight. Because of that, you went, yeah, yeah, payday, payday, you want payday. You can bring all that back up. The people can put out here, promote it, and it'll go. It'll sell a little bit. It'll sell. You know, you still got two more fights on your Riyadh season contract, I believe. So yeah, man, it's nothing else out there. You got Boo Boo Andre, and then this Shiraz, or yeah, Hamza Shiraz. You know, so yeah, fight Andre and Shiraz, man, and call it a day, call it a career, man. You've done a lot, Canelo. I'm not here to completely shit on you and say that you ain't done shit. You know, um, you've done some things, man, but I don't want to see you go out, you know, without at least um manning up to one of these fighters, bro. Everybody in the universe know you dug David Benavidez. Okay, we all know this, but don't let Boo Boo Andre off the hook, man. This man is disrespecting you, bro. And I get it. Bud Crawford is a special fighter, so we get it. You lost to some special fighters, man. We'll give you that, Canelo. You lost to Floyd, like I said before. You lost to Dimitri Bivol, and you lost to Bud. Nobody's gonna, those are not bad losses at all. Well, kind of because Bud came up and styled on you, but even though you got whooped extremely bad in each of those fights. It's still you got beat by some of the greats that we've ever seen in this sport. So, But don't allow a guy who is not really qualified, not on your level, like a Boo Boo Android, to get away with this shit, man. Don't let him escape into the sunset saying that, I fought the boogeyman. I fought David Benavides. He calls him Benavides. I fought David Benavides and Canelo. You know, don't allow this man to do this, man. So this unfinished business, take care of this work. I think the algorithm will kind of it's kind of fucking with it too a little bit, just based off this little live that I'm doing. But why not, man? I'm trying to promote some action for this guy. Canelo Alvarez, and a lot of y'all be fanboys. Y'all get so emotional when these fighters lose to where y'all think it's over with. No, it's not over with, man. It's still good fights out there for him. Y'all just have to think, get out of your emotions and feelings, and just think. This is a fight I've been telling y'all for years should have been happened, man. If he had took this path, fought Demetrius, yes, this shit come back. If you had fought Demetrius Andrade at 160 and became undisputed, we'd probably have a whole different conversation about Canelo and his status. We could have been talking about a legitimate three-time undisputed champ, but he wanted to skip work, man. He wanted to duck and dodge and cherry pick. When this man was a legitimate champ, bro, in two weight classes with your ass, man. So don't allow this man to escape getting his ass whooped when he's in the third weight class with you, man. Don't do it. Stop trying to act like he don't exist. He do exist. And if he's not retired and you're not retired, like what's my guy used to say? Let's get it on. What's that one referee? Anyway, um, so and then also too, man. Um, I got. Let me see. If anybody in the comment section, and then I'm gonna roll out. I have a flame of shame real quick. It's not Canelo. It's not Boo Boo Andre. I'm not on that. This is my flame of shame. I had an opportunity to watch the playback, right? And a lot of people have talked about Max Kellerman and the biased commentary he was doing for Canelo, and just the terrible commentary he was doing overall. Do y'all know that Netflix went and edited that man's commentary? I couldn't believe it. And just go to the Netflix for anybody that got their Netflix subscription. Go back to the Netflix, press pause. Like say you watching fight, press pause, and you'll see in the right hand corner in the top screen, edited from a previous live stream. And I didn't even notice it at first. I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, where's all this shit that Max was saying? I was saying to myself, like, Max was saying way more bullshit than this. It was a real PG, cleaned up version of Max. And then on top of that, they played some other music overlaying Bud Crawford's walk-in music. I'm like, why are y'all doing this, man? I wanted to hear the Desperado shit because it went viral. People talking about like, damn, how dope the walk-in was. And I wanted to hear it. But I'm hearing this other shit that y'all playing over top of that. I'm like, that's weird. And then when I started noticing the commentary, I'm like, oh hell no. Y'all gonna go in there and edit the commentary? I just really thought it was fucking pathetic. Max, we know what you did. You is not escaping that, bro. Just cause they went back and edited your shit, we still know what type of shit you were saying in there during the fight. I just think that's some weird, that's some low down shit, you know, to go back and try to change shit up when clear as day live we all heard Max Kellerman just totally glazing Canelo and acting like Bud Crawford wasn't even in the ring. But then y'all want to go in at it. Okay. All right. So yeah, man, I was disappointed. And I don't know if it's Netflix or whoever is responsible for that. But that's just whack. That's weak sauce, man. A lot of this, you know what I'm saying? Own up. Own up to it. Max was on some bullshit. So yeah, he deserved to get his ass flamed out here for that. But y'all want to go back and edit his shit because y'all trying to protect his reputation. Get out of here. Get the fuck out of here, man. So yeah, that's my flaming shame. You know, uh, Max, you can have several seats. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to be on nobody's commentary team, nigga, with that weak ass shit you was on. You know what I'm saying? You need to show some humility throughout the boxing match and be honest, instead of being biased. And that's the problem with like Canelo's fanboys and people that just be glazing him. Y'all are too biased. That's why when this day came with Bud Crawford styling on him, it's just like, man, that's what you get. You know, a lot of y'all looking stupid. You know, like Ellie's, setback and weird ninjas like him. Y'all do all of this glazing, like, until y'all get exposed, until that fighter y'all glaze get exposed, and the next thing you know, y'all doing damage control. Smelly setback. Actually, I actually had you winning the fight. Shut your whole ass up. I'm just like, somebody please smack him, please. Kick this man out of the events. You know, but that's once again, that's what y'all did for years, man. Y'all glazed the wrong people. You know, and it let y'all down miserably. But yeah, man. Hopefully Canelo can redeem himself, and that would be great for the fanboys of Canelo to be able to say like, yeah, man, we back on top. You know, we beat the shit out of Boo Boo Andrade. Y'all can get back out here talking shit, trolling in people's comment sections and goofy shit like that. You know what I mean? So you got to, he just got to fight somebody. And like y'all say, Hispanic and black fights they sell, right? So why not, man? This fight has been long overdue, and why not put Demetrius Andre out of his misery? It'd be a good win for your community, man. So y'all let me know y'all thoughts. Shout out to the ones that caught the playback. Do you want to see this fight, or do you feel like how Canelo felt? Payday. He won payday. Maybe you feel like this fight don't make sense. You could disagree with me, but I would love to see this fight because I want to see if Canelo's actually better than Boo Boo Andre because I don't know if he is. You know, we know he's not better than Crawford. He's not better than Bivol. He wasn't better than Floyd. So I just really want to see what level Canelo's at right now. Are you better than Boo Boo Andre? Or are you beneath Boo Boo Andre? Because I really honestly feel like you're overrated. You've been overrated all of this damn time. You've been cherry picking and getting some favorable matchups in your career at the right time. But I want to see at this point, you two are pretty much at the same, you know, not the same place or nothing like that, but y'all coming off bad losses, man. And y'all in the same weight class. And y'all have been in three weight classes together. So, man up. Have some cojones. Fight Boo Boo Andre, shut him up, and that'll get you some clout. Get your clout back up and to get these fanboys back talking. That's all I got. I am the Black Horseman. Catch y'all on the next one.